So that's why so many dropouts have created billion-dollar companies, right? So many big companies have been created by the dropout. This is the only reason. So there are two things about education, which what I personally, one is formal education, which you say study, right? 10,
Okay.
12 metrics, and then BSc, BTech, whatever, bachelor's and masters. That's a formal education. My belief is you need an informal education to get success in your life. Informal education, which is a practical education, right?
We Nrich Learning presents.
Hi, sir. Very good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very well, sir. How are you? How are you doing? It's just our podcast, Apni Toh Paathshala, where we go back to our
Hmm.
Paathshala and we thank all our mentors, all our teachers.
That's great. That's a great initiative, I must say. I was looking out some videos, some interview videos basically, and I think you guys are doing good. And it's a great
Thank you, sir.
initiative to I mean, to inspire the people by taking the interviews.
So, sir, before
Yeah.
you started this association, what went through your mind? Like, what made you want to start this?
Like I said, the only thing in my mind was and is so I have a belief when I say that if the day I'll be able to give employment to 500 people, let's say 500 people, the same day my Char Dham Yatra will be done. I don't need to go to any Char Dham Yatra after that. That's what I personally feel. So I believe in karma. So the goal is to make people in a manner, because if you hire one person, 10 people are associated with this, you make 10 people happy, right? If you are having 500 people, you will be making 5,000 minimum people happy. And you should not be doing charity all the time. You should be thinking about making them grow so that you are also growing. So I have this mindset. I always tell my employees that if you are work on yourself, because if you are growing, the company will automatically grow, right? So the goal is very clear, that I really want them to, because there's so much of poverty, so much of opportunity, less people, and they don't know anything about it. However, they are very talented. They are getting 90-95% in the villages, something in the villages without any tuitions or those things. So it means the talent is there. And since I belong to a village, so I know that if I'll be able to figure out 10 people like me, I mean, I think I can make a big company. So that's what the goal is. Very
And
simple.
how does education play a role in this, or in all of this, in all this program, in unemployment, or everything?
So there are two things about education, which what I
Hmm.
personally, one is formal education, which you say study, right? 10,
Okay.
12 metrics, and then BSc, BTech, whatever, bachelor's and masters. That's a formal education. My belief is you need an informal education to get success in your life. Informal education, which is a practical education, right? So that's why so many dropouts have created billion-dollar companies, right? So many big companies have been created by the dropout. This is the only reason, because you need a informal education where you are working on a practicalities. The problem with India is we have been trained to work on theories. Now, if you learn anything in the college, you won't be able to apply throughout your life. So what? How does it make sense to you? Even me, I am a computer science engineer. I've
Yes.
never done a coding. However, I have an IT company. I know a basic about coding, but I have never done a coding. But I've completed more than 200 projects of mobile application, web applications, all those things, right? So they have been done because of informal education, which I have already always believed in. So I don't believe when I give a job to anyone, I really don't look for the degree or whatever he has done. I just judge in 10 minutes like what he knows and all those things. Simple.
But sir, education does plays an important role still. But you
Definitely,
as
definitely.
yeah, as you said that you have an engineering background, and since you've done your education and since today, do you think education has changed in any way? Do you think they'll be more practical now?
So when you are talking about formal education,
Hmm.
so formal education supports you to do little informal activities, right?
Okay.
So informal risks you can take with formal education. That's how you should do. So basically, goal is very simple. When you study something, do something, bring practicality into it.
Do you think colleges and schools are right now focusing on the formal, informal education as well? We'll be more practical that way. Are we?
Yes. So colleges are definitely, and schools are also nowadays. I see a lot of schools. My friends have started schools. They have their own ventures. So they are focusing on practical trainings nowadays. Schools have started doing that, even colleges, because you won't be able to create a competitive student or a person if you don't do that. So they are, apart from the formal education, they are having a lot of extracurriculum activities which
Mm.
colleges and schools are doing. So that will definitely make sense, and that is adding value. And the education which we were having, and now it's completely different. You see a student of fifth class, you can't sit and talk to them. They know so many things that, I mean, I was talking to a kid. He was 5 and he was talking to me like, "Sir, do you submit your GST?" I said, "What?" Just imagine. Do you take input credits? I mean, I was like, I mean, I was amazed to see a kid of fifth class talking on GST.
I have
So
a little
this
sister as
this
well,
is
so I can totally relate with that. I go through this every day. They're very
yes, yes, yes.
smart these days, and I think that's a very good thing.
It is
Because to
very
see
good
our
thing.
education reaching at such points, I think it's amazing. The students
Yeah,
get to learn so much, especially from
yeah,
mentors
yeah,
like you
yeah.
as well now.
Definitely, definitely. No, it's really great now. Now that things are changing, so I think it'll go on the next level for sure in
So,
next
what do
few
you think our
years.
education's next step should be?
So right now it's 70-30, 70% formal, 30% practical. I think it should
Okay.
become reverse, 70 practical, 30 formal. That's what I believe
Okay.
in.
That's a big step.
Right. So yeah,
It's
if
a
it is
very big
happening, if
step.
I'll be starting a school any day, I'll be having more practical things only. Theory is just like, I mean, we all have seen Three Idiots, right?
Yeah,
So Amir Khan's
definitely.
role was very inspiring because he was always focused on practicalities, right?
Yeah.
So that is what is required today.
I think more days, the more movies are also coming with the being more practical. And I think they're very inspiring. But then
Yes, yes,
also
yes.
we have so much access to YouTube these days, so much access to other platforms. I
I
think
said YouTube, if you use YouTube rightly, definitely it is one of the best tool to learn anything and everything, whatever you need in life.
okay.
Everything is there, right? So
Uh, there's a new series called The Pictures. They have a very good dialogue. It's not about online or offline. It's about online and offline, right?
yes, yes, yes,
You
yes.
think we
That's
should
true.
move
That's true.
ahead as a society as just after I think lockdown we should be more careful. For example, after the lockdown happened, all of it became online all of a sudden, and we weren't prepared for
Yes,
it. But it
yes.
also made us realize that how important it is to connect with the world, to have
You see,
right.
yeah, you see the beauty of this country is, the beauty of this country is how. So you didn't had any option before lockdown. As soon as the lockdown came up, they immediately adapted to online processes and moved on. Okay, they didn't wait for it. So basically, we have been prepared as an Indian because so many countries, I mean, Britishers have ruled us and Mughals and other things. So we have been trained that, okay, uncertainty could come anytime in your life. So basically, you should be figuring out your ways easily, right? So online and offline is very, very important. And online, like for example, I'm sure you're sitting in Chandigarh, I guess, right?
Yes,
You're in
Chandigarh.
Chandigarh. Now, if I have to go for an interview, or if you have to come to meet me in Bangalore, it would have taken you a lot of money, a lot of cost, a lot of things to for this particular thing. But see, we have just connected and having this interview in just no time. So this is the beauty of offline. We need to use this in a positive manner, and definitely we are going to succeed for sure. I have a very strong belief about this country that we will be growing like no one else can even think of because of the youngsters. Every youngster has a passion to grow, so you can see their talents on TikToks, you can see their talents on YouTube and Instagram. You see that talent, the creativity. They just need the right path. Simple.
Exactly, true.
Yeah.
So I think my company also helps in that, giving teachers, giving institutes a platform for teach ahead. Not only do
Mm-hmm.
we have an LMS of our own, we also provide an
Mm-hmm.
application for
Mm-hmm.
anyone to download, so they can just pass on with that. Even I think you can use this platform. You can also use
Mm-hmm.
our application. I think it would
Mm-hmm.
help a lot to
Mm-hmm.
grow us and to reach masses. For example,
Definitely,
what
definitely.
you're doing with the association, if you would
Mm-hmm.
have another platform, so you can reach masses, so you can reach more and more people, not just in India, everywhere in the world. So we can have mentors like you to teach us like the right
No,
skills
no,
for us.
definitely. Any platform, because we are anyhow using some
Mhm.
platforms, and any platform which is fruitful and useful, anyone would want to love to, because that's how we are being called as a country of startups, right? So if something good is coming up, we are okay to adopt it and we are okay to move ahead with it.
Exactly. That's the beauty of being an Indian, right? We adapt very quickly to
Yeah.
things, and we do it very
Yes, yes,
good. We do it beautifully.
yes,
But sir,
yes,
I
yes.
would like to go back to the young generation one point where you say that young generation adapt to the technology very quickly. How do you think young generations have changed, like in other parts as well?
So young generations have so recent. So the basic example is uh, 10, 20, 10, 15 years back. If you're saying
Okay.
some kid that okay, don't go, some nonsense is there, so they won't go, right? But today, if you ask someone, don't go, some nonsense is there, they will definitely go. Okay, to find out ki kya nonsense hai.
Yes. Yes,
Simply. So
definitely.
basically, young generation is extremely dynamic. We need to frame out their talent into the right direction because it could be beneficial as well as it could be disastrous too.
Sure.
If we don't frame it properly, it could be disastrous. But the young generation is extremely creative. They are independent. They have their independent mindset. They don't have that mindset of कि dad के पैसे पे हमको करना है. They don't
Hmm.
have this mindset. They have this mindset that we really want to grow and we will grow on our own. I want to become a billionaire, millionaire. But on the other hand, this success has its own pain and gains, I would say. So when you become successful, it's not easy to be successful all the time, right? Success is like a Everest. You have to go, come down, then you have to work hard to go again. It works that way only. So if you think from that perspective, youngsters are going up, enjoying there, but once they come down, they are getting demoralized because they don't have patience. They are very impatient. So I would want to develop this patience level thing into them so that they are growing on another level, and then they don't hear anything of the type of thing.
What do you
Yeah,
think? Like, do you think it's the right thing to have our own business to grow more, like for everyone to do that?
it should. You should be having. So you should take entrepreneurship as a passion,
Okay.
not a show off. So that is the difference which is happening nowadays. I'm seeing a lot of youngsters are just doing business for the sake of doing. Ki they want a tag of CEO or founder and they're doing the business. But on the other hand, so they try, they do something and then they fail easily because their focus is just on the show off that I'm a founder. Then
Okay.
their focus should be on solving some problems. So basically, uh, I personally believe and I personally say all the time that there's a huge difference between a business and a startup. If you are doing something to make money, call it as a business. If you're doing something to solve any problem, call it as a startup, right?
Okay.
So if you are solving a problem, the money will follow you. That's what is happening with all the entrepreneurs nowadays. So from this perspective, youngsters should do business. Definitely, they should focus on business, do business, and take risk, get fail, learn something, stand up again, take risk again.
Okay.
Right. So, but try to take calculated risks. That is very important, right? If you have
Hmm.
5 lakh rupees in account and if you want to do some business, be calculated about how long you can go and how much money you can go. And one more advice I want to give to the young entrepreneurs is don't be just dependent on your idea and being approached by the investor. Ki, I have an idea, it's very good, and I'll go to the investor, they'll put some money. It doesn't work that way. Until you prove yourself, your mom dad won't accept you. So how would you accept the investors will accept you? It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It works only when you are proving yourself right. So
Okay.
that's how it is. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Wow. That's some brilliant advices you've given us today. So
Right.
our podcast Apni Toh Paathshala is a place where we go back to our Paathshala, right? I want
Mm-hmm.
to ask you your favorite memory of your Paathshala.
I was remembering one memory when I was studying in the government school of my village when I was in the first class, right? So I was talking to someone that we were having a lot of boomers that time, chewing gum, no, big bubble and boomers.
Hmm.
So I took that boomer out of my mouth and put it at my one of my friend's hairs, right?
Ooh.
So then we all were so much worried ki what to do, what to do. Then he only suggested, Sankalp, do one thing ki idhar se mere hairs kaat do. And we did it,
Oh.
right? And today, I mean, he's one of
Wow.
the best friend I have today. But so the level of creativity, the level of understanding, and the that memory we can't forget. So basically, we were into the government school, and the scenario was like everyone was so cool that they don't need to worry about anything. And after this incident, he didn't tell to his dad that okay, something has happened like that. It was very normal कि ठीक है हो गया. उसने dad को बोला. He
पागल
in
का
fact didn't tell them. उसने टोपी पहनना शुरू कर दिया for a while कि चलो I'll. This is called a friendship, you know.
है.
So
Definitely.
so yesterday when I was talking to him and remembering this particular thing. So this is how I mean that's and many incident like that, but that was really an amazing memory I have.
It's a very fun incident. A scary incident,
Yes,
but a very fun incident.
yes, we were very cool on that.
But sir, also government schools have changed a lot these days. Now, right now, they have so many more facilities, so much beautiful infrastructure. Right? I'm sure you've also
So
noticed that.
uh, I won't disagree. I won't agree at the fullest, but I won't disagree too. See, what you need personally is I'll tell you. The government is changing the infrastructure, the government is changing the other thing, but the thing which the government is not focusing and working on is the training of the teachers. See, we don't,
True.
so sitting in a very big classroom with digital equipments, if you don't have a good teacher to train, it doesn't work.
So we're coming up to the end of this episode. I want
Yeah.
to ask now my favorite question I always ask. What is this one? You've given some really great advices, but what is that one advice you would like to give to the young generation, to all of our audience, basically? Just this one advice, if you could give.
I'll just give one advice. I mean, there are many advices, but definitely what I would like to say is that so we are so there's a saying, okay, that most of the people follow their dreams, and while following the dream, they work very hard. Okay, so they don't understand that day after tomorrow will be the best day. Day after tomorrow will be the best day. But most of the people will quit tomorrow evening. That's what the problem is, right? So basically, start something, be passionate about it, work very hard. Don't quit until you have your last drop of blood in your body. That's how it works, right? Work very hard, be passionate, think about anything, think about problem solving, not making money. Money will follow. So it's
I
very
am
simple like
definitely going to use that advice. Thank you so much,
yeah.
sir. Thank you so much for it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.